I'm not really sure where to start this subject. Uh, to be honest, right now I don't feel too hot, anyways. So I'm just gonna do my best to get this out to you because I think you deserve to, know what's going on with me, and why there wasn't really a video up last week. So I'm gonna try to come up with 2 uploads this week. We're gonna see, because it's gonna be kind of hard because I actually have big plans for Friday through Sunday. So and I don't know if I'll really have time to really talk about that in this video. So as you can tell by the title, Tuesday I had a friend that committed suicide. In the end, we weren't the best of friends. There was many people that were closer to her than I was, but I considered her a friend. I saw her, maybe like every 2 weeks, if not more. She was a part of my scholarship. She was a part of the first cohorts. She was a part of my original family of when I started up here at college. It was hard because of that. She was the closest person I've ever lost to suicide. I haven't really dealt with suicide on this type of a level before. It's weird. I remember the first time that I lost someone that was close to my age. I was 16, and there was this kid that I went to Scouts with when I was growing up. I only went to Cub Scouts. I didn't go to Boy Scouts because I kind of just pushed it off, because when I graduated from Cub Scouts, you have to re-sign up for Boy Scouts and get that started, and I just never did that. It had been a good 3 years just about since I seen him, and we weren't even that close either. But it was just kind of weird, because when you lose someone that's your age, it gives you a weird feeling. I found out from my father, who was my Cub Scout leader, that he had been hit by a car and basically had became brain dead, being in the hospital for a couple of days. We weren't the closest, and I felt bad for losing touch with him, which I think will happen to a lot of people in their lives. They'll lose someone that they kind of lost touch with and kind of just regret the fact that they lost that connection. Experiencing his death at the age I was in was weird for me. I can't really explain it. The sense of being a kid and feeling invincible kind of just fades away in that moment, because you realize that you're not really invincible. So I had MLK day off. Tuesday, I had gone to work, because that's all I do on Tuesdays, I just work. I got home from work around 4 o'clock, and the girl's sister was here. So her sister was a freshman in college. Me and her sister we are juniors right now at this time. And her sister was here looking for her, and she was crying, and she didn't know what to do. And and then she asked me if I could take her to her parents' restaurant, because her parents own a restaurant probably like 20 minutes away from here. And I said, yeah, sure. I didn't think it would be right if I kind of just left her there, in despair, even though I was really tired from work. But I thought it was the right thing to do. So we got in my car, and I talked to her, and I asked her what was going on, and she told me that her sister was suicidal, and she had been missing all of today. They didn't see her at all Monday, and so they were really worried. And I talked a little bit more to her about why do you think she's suicidal? And she told me that her sister told her a few weeks ago that she was suicidal, and I had no idea, because I had just talked to her sister 5 days before that, and she seemed completely fine. We had a normal conversation. It was really hard to see that type of connection. I'm just there's no way. And then so for the last 10 minutes of the ride to her parents' restaurant, I just tried to talk to her about normal things, even though she wasn't really wanting to talk about it. But I was just trying to get her mind off the subject, to kind of calm her down, because I just thought, her sister's gonna be fine, there's nothing wrong. Because again, I had seen her 3 days before that and talked to her 4 or 5 days before that, and she seemed completely fine. I dropped her off, the police were there, her parents were talking to them. I just went home. I had things I had to do, and I was tired. So I came home, went to the gym, and then I got told that we had an emergency meeting through my scholarship chat. Because again, my scholarship is a family. We meet up all the time, and there's only 30 kids. 10 kids, there's usually about a base of 10 kids per year. So there's 10 freshmen, 10 sophomores, and 10 juniors. We all got told to meet up at this dorm area, and I showed up at the place. I was about 10 minutes late. And I was expecting to hear that, she had tried to commit suicide, because there was an emergency meeting, and I wasn't expecting anything. I'm there's no way, I think it's just kind of one of those things that's there's no way, you just don't think that it would happen. I get there, there's a lot of sad people, and I'm looking for her, the girl, you know, and I didn't see her. And one of my board members for the scholarship came up and she's like, "Did you hear?" And I said, "No." And she said that she had committed suicide. And like my jaw just dropped, and I was like I was just surprised. I was in shock. I didn't know what to feel or what to say or what to do, and it was weird for me. I don't understand. Like, I couldn't. So I found out on Tuesday night, came home, I talked to my friend about it, you know, and we tried to like retrace our steps and like really see if there was any signs that we missed. And as we talked about it, we just couldn't find any signs at all whatsoever. You know, when I saw her earlier, she talked about plans for the future, and like everything seemed normal. Nothing seemed out of place when I talked to her. I had like a 20-minute conversation with her and my friend, you know, 5 days before the incident. Everything seemed fine. Like the conversation seemed like every other conversation we've ever had. You know, when I saw her 2 days after that conversation, she seemed a little more quiet than normal, but I just didn't think anything of it. You know, so I went through my week, and the week was rough. I mean, that night, like, I didn't cry. I haven't really cried over this incident at all. And that's what upsets me the most. I've had a lot of people die in my life. When I was 17, I had about 6 people die within a 14-month period, and it was just really hard. I was just exposed to so much death at once. Like, the only other death I experienced before that was like a great grandma, I believe, and I wasn't even that close with her. I don't think I even really got to know her that well. This wasn't the first person I would consider to be a friend that committed suicide in my life. I had a friend that I was friends with in junior high, and I talked to her, and you know, we ended up going to different high schools, and she committed suicide. But I just, you know, I lost touch with her for a while. And this other girl, I talked to her, you know, we had conversations. I was even teaching her how to like solve the Rubik's Cube at one point in time. And yeah, the whole feeling is weird. I think maybe, you know, there's still a part of me that's still in shock. You know, I've gone through group sessions, I've talked to people about my feelings and like how I'm dealing with this, and how I'm more upset that I'm not upset about this, you know, tragic event that happened. Because I feel like it's tied to just the fact that I was exposed to so much at once, that it's hard for me to, I don't know, get upset with death. And I always say that I feel like when I lose someone that I'm really close to, like my mother, you know, that it's gonna hit me really hard. But until then, it's just like, I just don't know. You know, I don't think I've lost anybody that was very, very close with me. I've only lost, you know, people that I was pretty close with, you know, and I've seen other people's families go through pain, and it was hard for me, you know, and I cried then, and I was upset then. But the more it happened, the less I became more upset. You know, I just didn't become upset that much the more it happened. I don't know. So a little backstory, because I know that this story seems kind of vague. Her family just wishes that her name gets kept out of the media, or, you know, any sort of like, they don't want people posting about it. So that's why I'm just leaving her name out of this. You know, another thing is I don't know the details, because her family is not releasing any details at this time, probably because they're not comfortable with talking about it. So there's no details. I don't know how it happened. I don't know exactly where it happened. You know, I've been told things, but I feel like the places change every time I talk to someone. And I think I just really want to just make this video, is just kind of like inform you of what I'm going through. Maybe you understand what this is like to lose someone to suicide. And it's like, I wish I could go more in details about it, but again, like, her family is just, you know, they really just don't want that. So I'm trying to respect that fact, while also trying to respect like how I deal with things, you know, and I feel like YouTube's a big part of that. Her funeral was yesterday. It was a very beautiful ceremony. I'm not Catholic, but it was very interesting to kind of see how, you know, Catholics do their funerals. And I think the weirdest thing is, like, it kind of hit me that she was gone when we were actually at the burial site, you know, because everybody got a flower. You know, they gave everybody a flower, and there must have been, you know, almost 100 people there. I feel like, you know, maybe there was like 70 to 80, but there was a lot of people there for that funeral. And the weirdest part for me is when I got handed the rose, and I finally had my opportunity to walk up to her grave, which you know, her casket had already been lowered into the ground. And when I threw that rose in there, like, I don't know, like a feeling kind of like came over me, like, this is it, like, I'm leaving her behind in that aspect. You know, this is the final goodbye. And it was a weird experience for me. You know, it was a weird feeling, and a lot of these feelings, like, you can't really like articulate into sentences. It's hard. to really explain like exactly how you felt, and you know, I'm doing my best here, but that's kind of how I felt. And I know, you know, that she will live on through everybody that she has touched, you know, with her life and her love. And I know that because you know, there's like a saying that, you know, you are who you hang out with, and you know, that is true. It's like the people you hang out with, like you can find a little piece of them inside of you. And so she will, you know, live on through us and her family and everybody else that she touched. And I just wanted to make this video for your understanding about what I'm going through. And I think for myself, it's kind of like something I can look back on. And I feel like this sounds super vague, but I'm just trying to respect her family's wishes. You know, this isn't easy, and I don't know where I would be, you know, seeing the pain that it has caused, you know, her closest friends and her closest family. It's, you know, it's hard to put myself there. Like, I can't imagine losing like one of my best friends, or losing a close family member to, you know, the same tragic. You know, I think I went through a lot of emotions. You know, I went through like a tiny bit of anger, and I think I just let myself feel that because I know it's natural. You know, because a lot of people find that these, you know, people that commit suicide, they can find themselves to be angry at the person because, you know, upset that they kind of like took the easy way out, and you know, that they didn't reach out to them, or not really understanding like how they couldn't have prevented this, you know. And then I also know that there's some self-blame in there, like, oh, maybe I should have been a better friend, and maybe I should have maybe I should have been closer than what I was, you know, because if I was, then maybe she wouldn't have done it, you know. Maybe I should have offered to hang out with this person, or, you know, something, you know, just to kind of be closer to this person, just to make sure they're okay, you know. And it's hard to put yourself in those places, but I think it's healthy to do that, you know, because I run through like a bunch of different things, and again, you know, after all the people I've talked to, she left no signs that she was going to commit suicide, other than telling, you know, like her younger sister, which I think deep down, like, I was upset about that, because I didn't hear about this at all, you know, until her sister was crying at my dorm and I had to give her a ride. You know, it's like, why didn't I hear about this before? I hope that you never have to go through anything like this. If you already have, you know, my love goes out to you and anybody else that was hurt. This is not something easy to go through. You know, I went through a lot of like depression this week, and the reason why I'm still upset about it, and I'm probably still gonna listen to like sad music that, you know, triggers these feelings, and I let myself feel these emotions because, you know, pain demands to be felt. You know, and that's a quote from Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it's very true. You know, pain demands to be felt, and if you don't let it, you know, it's unhealthy, and a lot of a lot of bad things can happen emotionally, or, you know, later down the road if you're not able to express these emotions and, you know, learn to talk about them and deal with them and move forward from them. You know, I hope you understand, again, that I'm just trying to respect the family's wishes, and that's why I'm not delving into details about exactly what happened. You know, if I knew more, I would maybe let you know a little bit more, but I'm just doing my best to keep her identity as, you know, secretive as I can. I hope you guys understand how this week has gone. You know, it's been really hard to concentrate on school, and the day after I found out, I just didn't really even want to be at work, you know. So I just hope that you understand to a certain point about what I'm going through, and, you know, if you understand exactly what I'm going through and how difficult it is to lose someone that you were, you know, decently close with, or maybe you were extremely close with, you know, again, my heart goes out to you, and, you know, I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry if this video triggers any sort of, you know, reminiscence of what that period was like for you. You know, I mean, I think if anything, when you lose someone that's you're at least decently close to, it just makes you really want to cherish those who are still in your lives today, you know, because you're not really sure of what could happen tomorrow, you know, whether it's natural or whether it's decisions that are made. If you're watching this video, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support all the time, you know, and I'm doing my best to come out with videos every week, you know, if not more. So I hope you get to see this, and I hope that, you know, if you have any stories that you want to share, you know, that you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to hear them. You could leave them in the comments down below. If not, you know, I think just your support of watching this video is enough for me. I just hope that I hope that you don't have to go through this, because it's a different type of pain. I hope you guys are having a good day, afternoon, night, whatever it is. I don't mean to be putting a negative turn on this day if you're watching this video, but I think it's just more of, you know, just an understanding. So again, I appreciate you and everything you do for me watching this video. Yeah, for the last time, thank you for watching this video, and this is Flashy out, guys.
Make sure you tell my family it's okay. I'm sorry, but it's too late. I'm sorry, so much waiting on me. I don't wanna live